Let's normalize frugality. I'm a frugal person. I don't like spending money on stupid things or more money than I have to.
All right. So today, as you can see, the topic for today is being frugal. This is probably one of my favorite topics that we're going to talk about ever on this channel because I'm someone who I think thrives in frugality, right? Being frugal to me is just like a passion because I'm not one of those people who need all the glitz and glams and everything like that, right? I do perfectly fine with whatever it is that I need. I don't need to go above and beyond, get the designer, the ultimate brand name thing. Like, of course, as I make more money and stuff like that, and as my income and my net worth and things like that increase, then I may do a couple things as far as like maybe buy a little bit more brand stuff or a little bit more of the quality and things like that, as far as certain items go, right? But in general, though, I'm a frugal person. How I spend money, how I think about money, how I go about my life, how I go about everyday things. Like, I'm always asking myself questions. Do I need this thing? Do I need that thing? I'm always doing things like going through my closets, going through my home, seeing things that I don't need. Am I hoarding? That's one thing I like to work on as an adult, not to hoarder, because sometimes a lot of people have attachment issues. They get attached to things, right? Whether it's clothes, whether it's household goods, just a bunch of different things like that. And they'll just latch onto it and tell themselves, I'm going to use this eventually. I need to keep this. I want this. All those good things rather than just getting rid of it because you haven't even wore it, used it, X, Y, Z in like a year or two, if not more, right? So being frugal, man, is a lifestyle, right? Learning how to implement certain things by just doing them yourself and things like that. But that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it.
I'm super frugal, and one of the things I do that helps me save money is I always pack my lunch for work. I actually don't allocate any money towards dining out in my budget, which I know might seem wild to some people, but I really don't. Like, I don't have any like drinks with the girls. I don't really go out to dinner, and if I do, I have a very generous boyfriend who usually pays for that. But anyway, today, for my packed lunch, I'm having the tuna bagel, but it's chickpeas because I'm a vegetarian. I got a yogurt. This is my favorite, the strawberry cheesecake light and fit. So good. And Dr. Pepper. Yummy.
$2 total on lunch. Now, granted, she is kind of eating a light lunch, right? A bagel and some yogurt, depending on who you are, right? And that's a good lunch, right? For someone like me, I may need a little bit more. I'm a big back. Don't get at me in the comments, right? But I can get the concept of what she's saying, right? She's saying now, to me, it is a little bit, extreme. Isn't something that I would necessarily do. Like me, I do still enjoy going out, trying new places, indulging in those kinds of things, especially if you work hard and you save and invest and do all the things that you need to do on a consistent basis. I think it's nice to have those good little mini rewards, right? Because it's not like you're going to go spend a bunch of money, right? But those little like, okay, I'm going to go treat myself to this one little place here, or there, right? It's not an everyday thing. You don't even do it, let's say, 10 times a month, right? At most, you may do it 3-4 times a month, right? Maybe it's a weekend thing you do every weekend on a Saturday or something. Like, just go indulge in that one thing. But fast forward, though, touching on some of the things she said, she doesn't include that in her budget, what I just mentioned, going out, right? But doing things like packing your lunch, right? Putting a budget aside every month to, okay, this is what I'm going to spend on things like packing my lunch, X, Y, Z, to save myself the most money, have a minimalized lifestyle, right? And she's also vegetarian, and that's a little bit more expensive sometimes than actually doing things with meat, or it could be a little cheaper depending on what you eat. She did look like she had a few name brand things, right? It's like bagels, the yogurt she was eating and stuff like that, right? However, I will say living a frugal life can be hard for some people if that's not how you were raised or what you were grew up on. Like, it takes a lot to start trying to minimalize your life after it's been, a certain way for so long. If you have to do things a little different, right? Cut back on certain things. All those things. I also, for me personally, when you start being frugal, you start realizing either overconsumption of certain things, right? You start learning a lot about yourself. So that's why I also think it's kind of a good thing to be frugal sometimes and learn what you would be willing to spend money on versus what you're not willing to spend money on. Learn what you're willing to go above and beyond for and what you're not going above and beyond for, right? And also, being frugal can teach you a little bit of discipline, right? It'll teach you like, okay, how can I make this stretch as far as I need to go? And then also deny myself of certain cravings, right? Being disciplined is one of the more, I would say, impactful things in life in general, right? So when you start really learning true self-discipline, it could take you so far because you start being more disciplined with your money, which opens up a whole bunch of doors. That's just a whole different conversation for another day, but it opens so many more doors when you start being especially frugal with your money. And then you start learning, okay, now how can I maximize this thing in my life, right? That requires discipline. How can I maximize this thing in my life that requires even more discipline, right? You start being more consistent with yourself, right? You start showing up for yourself more, right? You start gaining more self-respect, self-love, self-motivation, so many just different things in life. Your overall self-esteem is just going to build, in my opinion, when you start really disciplining and honing in on certain things, right? But in general, man, if you can be frugal a little bit in certain areas of your life, just not have overconsumption, I would recommend it, right? Everyone's different, right? Figure out what that is for you, but let's get back to it.
I'm frugal, and these are some of my favorite frugal things. I have a pretty simple skincare routine, and I use all my products and don't buy more until they're done. I keep all of my gift bags so they don't get thrown out, and I could just reuse them. I have one for any occasion, and some of these bags, like this big one, is $7. I love my free YouTube workouts because there's so much you can do at home for free, and classes these days are so expensive. I can't remember the last time I bought a new sports bra, but these still fit and do the job. I shop exclusively at Aldi because they have the best deals, and this has saved me so much money. It is unbelievable. I'm so grateful for my handed-down furniture that still serve their purpose perfectly fine. What are your favorite frugal things?
All right, all my girlies out there, please do not get mad at me, right? But I definitely agree with her. The skincare routines, the body oils, the beauty cosmetic things, just all that whole trend and everything like that in general is literally killing a lot of y'all, right? Like, one of my close friends, right? I was talking to her on FaceTime the other day, and she's pulling out all these body creams, all these different things that she's using. She's trying out X, Y, Z. And I mean, it's a whole bin. And I'm just like, in my mind, like, you can pick one or two brands or something like that, use those, stick with them, right? And then once those run out, then try something new, right? Like, a lot of people will use a quarter of a bottle or something like that, and then like, okay, I like the product, maybe it's not giving the full results, right? Or it just kind of gets old and it kind of becomes a thing of the past, right? It's not new, it's not exclusive no more, right? So then they see a trend or something, they're scrolling online, they see something else they may like, so now they're ordering something else and then trying that. And then it's just a repeated cycle, right? Rather than using what you bought, keeping that consistent, right? If it works, it works. If it does a job, it does a job. There's no need to do so much, right? Like, you can smell but so good. Skin can be but so clear, right? Like, there's just so many things you could do, right? Just embrace yourself, right? But that's my little rant to all the girlies out there, right? But again, some of the other stuff she touched on. Shopping at Aldi's, right? I'm a person who love Aldi's now. Granted, I haven't been to Aldi's in a long time, more so because I'm also a Walmart guy. And a lot of times when I go shopping, I'm not just going shopping just for groceries. And Walmart has a big variety of some of the other things I may need, whether that's like, let's say certain, household things, right? A bunch of just, let's say, necessities, you may need. Like, it's just a bunch of different things in life that Walmart offers me that I can go get all at one time on top of my groceries that I can't get at Aldi's all the time. But I do like Aldi's. Like she said, Aldi's is a good option. But even in the bags, I feel like the gift bags, when she mentioned those, that is a true frugal staple right there. Some of these gift bags are crazy. And like she said, one of those bags was $7. Like, that's how they get you. Even someone like me, you can save the gift bags you get as presents as well. Do not underestimate presents, because let somebody else go spend that money for you. Then those gift bags that you get, what's the point of, getting a gift and then keeping the gift, just throwing the bags away and everything? Like, you ain't gotta necessarily, something like the paper. Okay, if you don't want to use the same paper, throw away the paper, right? But something like the bags, right? A lot of those things are reusable. A lot of things we get in life are reusable. Where, like she said, furniture as well, and just all these different things that you may see that really, is very still useful, has a lot of life in them, but we always want something new. We always want to be with the trend. We always want to be with the times, the glitz and glam, right? Sometimes you can also spice your stuff up a little bit. You can get something old school, old fashioned, right? add a few new school touches to it, right? Maybe a certain mats you use for a certain, if it's a couch, certain pillows you use for, if it's a certain kitchen table, like you said, maybe you spice that thing up, add some things to whatever it is, right? Just add your own little flair to it, right? But again, there's a lot of things you can do to be frugal, a lot of ways you can save money out here, man. All you gotta do is just literally look it up. You know, it's on Amazon, it's on Google, right? They have a bunch of different things for you. But anyways, let's get back to it.
Welcome to another day of living below my means. This one's going to hurt the coffee lovers a little bit, but the cheapest things I do is take the coffee packets from the hotels as pictured and drink them sometimes for my morning coffee, save some money. Then I went for a walk and I need new running shoes bad. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know. Then I did some work, errands, and made lunch. We meal prep everything, and rice and beans are a staple in this house, but it is always delicious.
For all my coffee lovers out there you go right there. Drink the hotel coffee. But no, seriously though, you can make things like coffee at home, right? You can get you a coffee maker, make the small investment one time, get you a good quality one, right? And then just maybe buy the package. And then if the package got different styles, flavors and stuff like that, that's how you could switch it up, right? And save yourself a bunch of money, right? Because Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, whatever these little small mom and pop coffee shops, those things can get expensive, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up. I've heard $10 to $15 for a coffee or morning drink sometimes, right? Like, just make that at home. Now, if you want the occasional one-stop shop, you know, sometime like, hey, I'm gonna just go get it this one time because I've disciplined myself. I've done what I needed to do right. I'm gonna just treat myself. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, right? But for the most part, if you could be frugal and save yourself a bunch of money, especially when you look at it from a yearly kind of, you know, point of view, then to me that's worth it, right? Also, rice and beans, something I'm focused on right now while I'm trying to build my net worth, accomplish some of my financial goals. Like, I make a lot of quick, easy meals, and a lot of those quick and easy meals are also cheap as well, right? So those are some of the things I focus on while trying to get to where I'm trying to get to right now. So then later on, I can indulge in some of those maybe higher class meals, right? Instead of the rice and beans, maybe you going, you know, let's say chicken and pasta, you know, whatever it is, right? I don't know. Just something a little bit like, you know, more Le Flair, you know, that gives you a little bit, you know, it satisfies your taste buds a little bit more, right? I agree with her completely 100%, right? Find the little things that you can do, you know, to integrate into your life. Like she said, they meal prep everything. Find what works for you, man, and find what you can be consistent at, right? Because it's only going to help you, like we talked about, being disciplined and then also showing up for yourself, right? So be frugal, man. Learn where you can save in your life, right? And just build an overall better future for yourself. But if you stuck with me this long, man, I appreciate it. And go ahead and smash that like button if there's anything in this video that you like that I said. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well, as it's only going to help grow and build this channel, right? I'm going to reiterate every video. I want to build a platform here where I want to interact with y'all and y'all interact with me. So with that being said, go ahead and drop a comment below if there's anything that you want me to talk about, or if there's anything that you have in response to anything I might have said in this video. But with that being said, until next time.